Hello friends, you are on the channel Quotes of Great Men. Enjoy watching. Let man but accumulate his materials of destruction, and the devil within him will soon be unable to resist putting them to their fated use. Only in the first hour of the night can I become human, while the male dove is busy with the 12 dead. The state in particular is turned into a quasi-animate personality from whom everything is expected. In reality, it is only a camouflage for those individuals who know how to manipulate it. My speech is imperfect, not because I want to shine with words, but out of the impossibility of finding those words. I speak in images, with nothing else to express the words from the depths. There is no rule that is true under all circumstances, for this is the real and not a statistical world. Because the statistical method shows only the average aspects, it creates an artificial and predominantly conceptual picture of reality. In the last analysis, most of our difficulties come from losing contact with our instincts, with the age-old forgotten wisdom stored up in us. Indeed, I do not forget that my voice is but one voice, my experience a mere drop in the sea, my knowledge no greater than the visual field in a microscope, my mind's eye a mirror that reflects a small corner of the world, and my ideas a subjective confession. The dream gives a true picture of the subjective state, while the conscious mind denies that this state exists, or recognizes it only grudgingly. I am astonished, disappointed, pleased with myself. I am distressed, depressed, rapturous. I am all these things at once, and cannot add up the sum. Life calls, not for perfection, but for completeness. The image of the world is half the world. The doctor is effective only when he himself is affected. That we are bound to the earth does not mean that we cannot grow. On the contrary, it is the sine qua non of growth. No noble, well-grown tree ever disowned its dark roots, for it grows not only upward but downward as well. This experience punctured the desired hole in her rationalism and broke the ice of her intellectual resistance. Just as we tend to assume that the world is as we see it, we naively suppose that people are as we imagine them to be. Unfortunately, there is no doubt about the fact that man is, as a whole, less good than he imagines himself or wants to be. Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. A man likes to believe that he's the master of his soul. But as long as he is unable to control his moods and emotions, or to be conscious of the myriad secret ways in which unconscious factors insinuate themselves into his arrangements and decisions, he's certainly not his own master. You can hardly say of your soul what sex it is. But if you pay close attention, you will see that the most masculine man has a feminine soul, and the most feminine woman a masculine soul. Anything can be settled by an intellect that is not subject to the control of feeling, and yet the intellectual still suffers from a neurosis if feeling is undeveloped. The man who looks only outside and quails before the big battalions has no resource with which to combat the evidence of his senses and his reason. One cannot live from anything except what one is. If a blind man can gradually be helped to see, it is not to be expected that he will at once discern new truths with an eagle eye. One must be glad if he sees anything at all, and if he begins to understand what he sees. To be quite accurate, human nature is simply what it is. It has its dark and its light sides. The sum of all colors is gray light on a dark background or dark on light. What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. If I want to understand an individual human being, I must lay aside all scientific knowledge of the average man and discard all theories in order to adopt a completely new and unprejudiced attitude. We want to have certainties and no doubts results, and no experiments without even seeing that certainties can arise only through doubt and results only through experiment. We must remember that the rationalistic attitude of the West is not the only possible one and is not all-embracing, but is in many ways a prejudice and a bias that ought perhaps to be corrected. My intellect would wish for a clear-cut universe with no dim corners, but there are these cobwebs in the cosmos. I have frequently seen people become neurotic when they content themselves with inadequate or wrong answers to the questions of life. Thanks for watching. Check out these educational videos too.